Hey, what's up, guys? What is this? I had this for a while, man. I always tell you my favorite era in history, or one of my favorite eras in history, is what they call the fin de siècle, right? The turn of the last century, the late 19th century, going into the very, very early 20th century, pretty much just before the World War. And I remember I found this in a used bookstore. This is actually a 1970 reprint of an old Sears Roebuck, Sears and Roebuck, or Sears Roebuck and Company catalog for goods, right? Incorporated, cheapest supply house on earth. Right? And it's a very interesting snapshot in time, but it's also very interesting to see. And there he is. I remember in Brooklyn. You had Sears. You had the one in Flatbush. Right? You still have the architecture of that one. I don't think it's in use. And then I remember, I think there was other Sears. I think TSS was an offshoot of that. I'm trying to remember, but there he is. The typical mustache. Like I said, if I lived in the only time yours truly would have a mustache would be in this time period. I would be a dandy with a cane. Okay, but obviously there's a capitalist pig. I'm not even gonna do that. So because you have no bigger pigs than you have now. Robber barons, however they were, they gave a lot more to the world than the sons of bitches you have now. Right? So I thought it was interesting, right? The miniature reproduction of this catalog, significant historical document. You know me, I love historicism, right? The way of life existed in the United States at the turn of the century. So this is being reprinted in 1970. People still unconcerned with the population bomb and air pollution, right? When its ocean barriers were beginning to shrink. So remember, it's hilarious when you have a reprint of something that is done, that is now well over 50 half century ago itself, and you get to see, we're so smart in the modern day. Look at these things: population bomb, air pollution, ocean barriers shrinking. Right? Look at these things. Right? It's interesting to see what they thought back then in the early 70s, 1900, the beginning of a promising new century. Always loved that theme, right? The United States, it was a recognized world power, right? The Monroe Doctrine, what the hell is that? The country's decisive victory over Spain in 1898. Right? Okay, I guess that's technically within the purvey, right? It's leading roles in the first Hague Conference in 1899. Putting down the Boxer Rebellion in China, the righteous boxers, harmonious fists. And its expansion to the Western Pacific, to the Philippines. Right. You're free, Philippines. We're going to kill thousands of you to show you that you're free. Established the United States as a world power, the first rank. Right? It's the beginning of the end of European man. 76 million people lived in 45 states. Right? And it was interesting. In politics, McKinley, I like McKinley, right? Had overwhelmed Bryan, right? William Jennings Bryan, who I would have voted back then. Yours truly, I'm probably a socialist, anarchist, supporter of Eugene Debs back then, and William Jennings Bryan. Very populist, I'd say, in my politics. But back in the time that I didn't exist, and right, he beat William Jennings Bryan. Always a fan of his, but I like McKinley too. Right? The good life was all of the day. The country was still strongly rural in 1900. Almost 11 million of its people employed in farming. Life expectancy was still under 50 years, so yours truly would have been older. Right? The burgeoning growth of manufacturing. Right? So we're in the height of the Gilded Age, and you're starting to see the effects of it. They describe Sears, Richard Warren Sears, Minnesota. And they started to talk about, of course, the Roebuck. Eventually, they split off. What is this? In the meantime, Sears had always been, the move had lined a new capital, right? Where does you need capital? In the persons of Aaron Nussbaum and Julius Rosenwald, two successful Chicago businessmen. You don't say. The company was reorganized with a capitalization of $150,000 with Sears and his two new partners. Okay, so it's based in Chicago. Interesting. They make fun of. Also, I like this. Until the passage of the Pure Food and Drug Act in 1906, anyone can make almost any claim he wished about his patent medicine. The drug department offers a broad spectrum, I'm going to show these, of these nostrums, aiming to cure almost every ill. One can purchase a tube of tactics to cure any of the 24 diseases, or a family medicine case with a dozen assorted cures. Little wonder the average American lived to only 48. Unlike your very safe and effective drugs today that don't have any side effects on you, okay? And those are just the drugs. I'm not going to talk about the vaccines. Yeah. Anyway, so the guy, June 1970, Schroeder Jr., you think you know everything, don't you? Back then. You know? Anyway, just a little sum up. There's gonna be a couple of vids. I meant to go over this for last couple of years. The merchants in line and merchants, bankers. Right? I always like the pen. I will say the aesthetics. I always like the artwork. Right, the new architecture. Right, is starting to come up. You know, still has class to it, although it's starting to get very utilitarian. And also, they like to do these things. They always make these kind of cool, like with the earth and things, the title surrounding the earth, right? And they always say how we are, we endeavor to make this very complete. We want you to, right? We make every transaction with us, no matter how small, pleasant, profitable, and altogether satisfactory to the buyer, as to encourage continued patronage. Right? All right, so. And they talk about our prices, our reliability, methods of shipment. And of course, this is a mail order, unprofitable shipments. Right? Here's an exact copy of our order written on the bank. Remember? Today, computer, forget it. When something doesn't work, it's the end of the world. Back then, you have paper, you have ink, you have file cabinets. That's all you need. And I like how they start each department of here. They always start with a very cool pen and ink drawing of, like, it looks like this vast warehouse, factory sort of thing. I doubt that these things were this large, but it's very interesting to see. You already have the commodification of things now. Of course, the consumerism, right? The America is the giant economic zone, the shopping mall. You can say, you could look at this and be very snooty about it, but I would argue this is the sweet spot of it, because a lot of these items are really quality items. When you have a burgeoning population, you want to sell them to. I mean, and you got good stuff. You got Japanese tea, Indian tea, Japan sun-dried tea, gunpowder. Remember gunpowder tea? I remember you could still get those in Chinatown. I would be scared to drink them, but they look pretty cool. Of course, coffee. Cracker, who you calling cracker? Alright, so now we go to the drug department. Look at these. We cure you. Tobacco to the dogs. We cure for your tobacco habit. Stop drinking. German liquor cure. Oh, hell no. Destroy all desire for liquor. Oh, hell no. Right. Now, I get the joke is like, these things are useless. Right? Well, I guarantee you, these things probably didn't friggin' kill you and harm you and destroy you like these drugs do today. Right? But they extend your life. They have to have a side effect. There's a price to pay for extending your life. Right? What is the quality of that life? I argue that a lot of these people lived more in lesser years than many other people I see now. But what do I know? Catarrh, remember catarrh, right? Phlegm, right? I think that's phlegm. Inflammation because of, right? Make you well again. I love this too, right? Dr. Warden's female pills for all the female diseases, all forms of female weakness, nervousness, headache, dizziness. I feel faint. I'm very upset. There you go. Oh dear, your female malady. I love it. Little liver pills. I love the sarsaparilla, right? Remember these the soda. Vegetable cure for female weakness. Right. Of course, the rheumatic cure, camphor. They still use that for cold sores. Blood builder. I love this. I love looking at this stuff. Remember the old cough syrup, right? The Ludens, right? The brothers from Reading, Pennsylvania. Right? Cod liver oil. A lot of this stuff is still being used until my childhood. Bitter stomach. I like this. Nutritive tonic, beef, iron, and wine. Right? It sounds like a Chinese technique or something. Right? and they're handy tablet remedy. So I love seeing this stuff. Right, so veterinary department. Remember, a lot agricultural department. A huge part of this is going to be for farmers, right? Because America is still producing its own food. So you get to have veterinarian, to help your animals, right? You also have other things to help you. Oh God! Oh, castrating knives. Yeah, speculums. Now this is great. What the hell is this? Heidelberg alternating current electric belts. So these were okay. Now this is a little. I think this is a quackery right here. I think this is pretty much a quackery. Oh, you don't know. Right, powerful electric belt for nervous diseases of all kinds. This interesting back down, closer to the essence. The people are still everyone's still nervous, everyone's anxious, right? Well, yeah, I mean, you can argue that these people in the 19th century are already living in a non-natural way from industrialization. So everyone's nervous, everyone's going insane, and, they have huge asylums, and everything is just, you're seeing that this, not all is well, right? The weird tales, the decadent tales, right? They connect all these things. Kava, right? Make your own temperance wine. What? Great non-alcoholic temperance wine, right? When Dewey sunk the Spanish fleet at Manila, right? This is, remember, the Spanish-American War and the Boxer Rebellion is I think just recently, I think it was done by now in the summer. Princess hair is stolen. There's white lily face wash. Oh, white, we must eliminate whiteness. The famous white lily face wash for beautifying the complexion. What a beauty. Oh, hey, thousands of beautiful women, gorgeous. And of course, the jewelry department. Oh, buy me jewelry. Oh, with the top hat. Look how fetching that looks. Right, so I'll pass this. I'm probably gonna end this vid and make another part. You get rings, gold-filled rings. Now good. But this is called the secret society. Oh, masonry. Oh, the Knights of Pythias. Right, you get all the masons. Meanwhile, you have your secret societies right in front of you, about to change your world. It's the Freemasons. Not that I'm afraid of the Freemasons, to be honest. So, and you see the art, you see the craftsmanship of everything, from silverware to the clocks. You get the cool wooden clocks, right? All carved with the little things here. Right? What's this? Oh, I believe that is what is that? I thought it was I don't know what that is. I thought it was one of those bullfighters. Alright, I'm gonna do a separate vid for this, because this is getting into more stuff that's really interesting to me. Because photography, of course, is already a half century old, but you start getting into cinema, moving films, and also the adjuncts, the precursors to that are still very popular. Of course, slideshows and magic lanterns. But I think it's interesting going back to 1900. Oh, this century is gonna be great. You're gonna see America. You're gonna see the world we're gonna have. Well, you could argue that America, in a way, that is true for America, right? Careful what you wish for. I feel, I would say there's some Schadenfreude into this, but it's really not. So, Lovecraft was right. Lovecraft did nothing wrong. He knew what was coming, even though he was only 10 years old. So.